Hello, it's Prentis again doing a video. Today is number four of the Quasi-repent video. So the last thing I'm gonna recommend is confession. But before you turn it up, I'm not recommending total confession because I know it scares people off, and people are not. If you feel called to go to confession, that is totally what I recommend. I think it's the best thing to do. It's really I'm full on with the full return to the church thing. I think that really is the best way to respond to God, for sure, and that includes going to mass, doing all that, and and reading the Bible and doing everything. So like totally, I'm in all the WHAAAAT camp, but I know for a lot of people, the idea of going to confession is scary, and it's like, it doesn't really make sense to them. It's like, why should I tell this guy about my sins, and why can't I just tell God? And so that's actually kind of what I'm saying. Okay, well, tell God then. Like, do that as like a first step, and do an examination of conscience. And so I'll just describe how I would do that. So you might want to start with the 10 Commandments. You can just find them online and go through those. But if you read Matthew chapter 5, Jesus kind of tightens up the language. He doesn't make it easy. He makes it harder. He says, for example, about adultery. You have heard that it is said, if you sleep with another woman or whatever, you've committed the sin of adultery. But I say to you, if you looked at another woman with lust in your heart, then you have committed adultery. And so we're all screwed. Like, everyone is bad. So his standards are really tough. He's not an easy guy to please in the sin department. So Catholics we think everything is sinful. So like thoughts, um, thoughts are not bad. Like you're gonna have thoughts, but if you're looking at a woman with thoughts, that's and your glance kind of lingers there for more than like a split second type of thing. So it's a bad scene. So and then so he says, get angry. Like, don't even get angry in your heart. Like, he's really tough, tough guy on that front. But so those are things. But also, you can go through the 7 deadly sins and see how those go. So the first one, the least important. So these are in the least important order. And we always think of lust as like the big number one. Oh, that must be like number one. Well, no, actually, it's number 7. It's the least important of all sins. I guess the flesh sins are kind of at the end, they're kind of less important because the interior sins are at the most important. So anyway, the list is number 1. So gluttony is number 2. Um, uh, greed is number 3. Sloth is number 4. Anger is number 5. And now with anger, we get into the really interior, like bitter, kind of emotional things. They're not flesh sins. They're kind of like inside, and they're more serious. They're more corrupting. That's why they're more important. So anger and envy, and number 1, the big one that we all have is pride. And so what underneath all these, like what drives everything is fear. And fear like we're not enough, so we just have to earn more, and we have to feed ourselves more with like more cake or more sex, or more or we have to destroy our enemies, or we have to have what our friend has, and it should be mine. And of course, pride is it's all about you, and so those are the 7 deadly sins. So I've given you good, I think, pretty good fodder for sinless, because we've all got those. So, but, okay, so this whole, kind of quasi, repent and our response to God. So my response is, it's kind of not like full on, Catholic, but is, it enough? Like, so, probably not. So I'm gonna remind it here of a story I heard about, like salvation. Like, if we're on one side of the river and we want to get to the other side, and we see like a rickety boat that kind of um may get us across, but I'm not sure. Um and the guy said, well, maybe this will get me across. Do you think so? And I'm like, yeah, but if you go like 20 miles downstream, it's a bit of a walk, but there's like a super highway bridge that's gets there, and it's climate controlled, and you have to go through snow and whatever to get there, but once you get there, it's good, and it's a good bridge, is smooth, and and it'll get you over it, like, guaranteed. And so I'd say, head for the bridge. So, but with the world kind of as it is, and just I think Jesus is just saying, like you gotta give me something. So like just I mean give Jesus just a little opening. So I'd say, and also the words of divine mercy are good to remember. If so, if one prayer, if you remember 4 words, it's Jesus, I trust in you, and those are like for prayer words to, and also with this thing about the quasi repentance is that cheap, kind of a cheap way of like just gotta look at that and go, oh man, that's crap. Like he doesn't say that, but like if like I'm reminded of the Blaise Pascal of Pascal's wager. It's kind of a mathematical thing where it's like a tree, and so it's like you draw a tree and you draw like 99% God does not exist because like my senses can't pick him out. He's not scientifically verifiable. So therefore, pretty much most things in life we kind of do that. So I'm like this with the kind of a atheistic way would would look at that. The God is probably not there. Maybe there's a 1% chance he's there. Okay, and then you look at the payoffs. So if he is there, and I'm a good Christian, everything, the payoff for that is like infinitely good. And if I don't uh, behave well, the payoff is infinitely bad. So, but that's 1% chance, 99% chance. Okay, if got time for this, and I'm good, then my payoff, at the end is 0. And if I'm not, the payoff is 0. So, like, when you do the math, when you do the expected value, it's like, yeah, that's, there's a little bit of chance, but hey, a friend of mine used to say, I don't really believe in God, but I like to hedge my bets. And she would just explain. I think she posted a prayer or whatever. So so my point is that is kind of like fire and that's like saying I'm just gonna take that and I'm just gonna go through the motions of being Christian, like I'll get on board. Just like fire insurance, in case of in case of emergency, see I'm covered, and that isn't that kind of cheap. And so I'm kind of comparing that to this quasi repentance thing. So yes, that is cheap, but God will accept it. God is not standoffish, and He will try to, and He'll try to work and try to build that into more of a love thing. So if that's your entryway, then it's okay, I think. So that's kind of what I'd recommend. This video is probably long, earlier, 50 minutes, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So no more repentance videos, yay. So tomorrow I'll do some else. Thanksgiving probably. And so I'll talk to you later, guys. Right, thanks, bye. Alright.